Now, not everybody will agree with whatever proposals we'll come up with to get us to the end of a 2020 season, but there has to be seen to be unity.
Luke Gale in the paper, I think it's the Yorkshire Post or the Evening Post, it's the same thing anyway, isn't it? Talking about the players having more discussion or involvement in when the league comes back. It's interesting. I saw a random tweet on my timeline earlier from the Netball Players Association over here, not in Australia, who were tweeting about something or other. So I thought I'd have a check and see when was the last time the RLPA tweeted, the UK version. And apart from a tweet last August, they replied to a tweet from Aaron Bauer in March. So they're not very active in terms of their social media. I'm sure they're more active off the field. But John, the players want a bigger say in what's going to happen going forward. It's going to be a time where there's going to be a lot of pain for everyone going forward, isn't it?
Oh yeah, massively. And I think the players, they've, from the sounds of it, they've accepted the pay cuts that need to be made. But yeah, I've been saying that for ages. I think the players need a voice, at the bargaining table. Whether it be middle eights, super eights, loop fixtures, where's Magic played. They should have a seat. Because they are the game essentially, and they do get flogged without much input. And I think Luke was spot on with what he wrote. Just going back one bit to what Phil was saying about England and World Cup, and I think that's actually a real worry because Sean Wayne's come in. There's no mid-season test. There's not going to be an Ashes test. So there's unlikely to be any international footy really, from what the IRL has been coming out there. So when is England actually going to play before the World Cup? And they've got a new coach. He sort of looks like he's going to make some different selections. So a new dynamic. It could quite harm the chances of getting to the final next year.
I've got to throw this one to you, Tom. This is one that's coming on Twitter earlier today. We asked for topics, and this one's from Ian. If the championship season's over, and we don't obviously know what's going to happen with the championship, could some of our players do a reverse dual reg, filling up the squads at Toronto and Salford, etc., particularly if 3 games a week is on the agenda? I guess we talked about the salary cap earlier. Is there an argument to say, well, we're going to need more players from somewhere? We may loosen the cap a little, because obviously Toronto can't fit anyone in whatsoever. I thought Ricky Latelli was off to Warrington, John, but obviously his dream move to the Wolves is now in tatters.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I suppose the dual registration, everybody just looks at it as Super League squad players that aren't in the matchday 17 going down the level and playing in the Championship or League One, whichever club they have links with. I suppose that there's no reason why it couldn't work going the other way, for players to just. There's absolutely no doubts that if there's going to be, which it looks like it's going to be inevitable, multiple games a week, and we're going to have periods of maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 occasions where Super League clubs are playing 3 games in a week. They're going to need everybody's going to have to rely on the depth of their squad, and rugby league by its very nature is a very physical game. So a lot of there's very few squads who are prepared for that fully fit. But then you're going to have to factor in the inevitable injuries that will come from playing week in, week out, and the reduced recovery time. And as you mentioned there, Rich, with Toronto, a very sort of minimal level squad to start the season, and if they can't bring anybody else in, then they may well have to look to that route. It could well be something that the players look to. And if the Championship season is cancelled or League One is cancelled, then those players will be sort of left at a loose end almost, and will be desperate to sort of contribute at some level.
Bring back AN other. That's what we want. That's who we want turning out for our Super League. Now, not only should they, but absolutely, what better way for Super League clubs to get a look at the talent that actually is in the Championship than trialling it effectively? The interesting thing will be, what do we do with the Challenge Cup? Because at the same time as saying that there may be no Championship and or League One fixtures for the remainder of the season, some of those clubs are still in the Challenge Cup draw. And we're determined to finish the Challenge Cup. So, again, do players stick with the clubs that are in that competition? It's a potential minefield, and it's all going to need thinking through. But we want players to play, and I think 100%. If you've got 3 games a week and you can dip into the Championship, or even a young player who's playing in a League One at the moment, give them an opportunity at the top level in your 3rd game in a week, bring it on.
Can't they all sign as amateurs, as trialists, Tony Guiget style?
There you go. So,
Is he still on a trial at Toronto?
No, I think his trial ended. But if it works for him, sure.